No listening. If you're under 18, this is not for children, okay? I'm tired of not being able to walk past preschools. Hashtag sex offender by accident. Don't poop in a sandbox. No listening. If you're under 18, thank you.
Niños, escuchen estas palabras mientras que salen de mis labios agrietos. El siguiente programa, aunque esto sea muy divertido para toda la gente, no es para los niños. Como un burro que busca agua fría, un balde, y eso le va a dar toda la satisfacción que necesita, esta agua no es para ustedes. Por favor, vayan donde sus padres. Ayúdelos a limpiar los baños. No vayan a escuchar esto. Es muy importante. Que Dios nos bendiga a los Estados Unidos. Gracias.
Brian McCarthy interview show. Adam is now drinking his Coke. Disco. Listen to that beat. Breaking it down in Uptown. Take your hand and touch it. Touch it. Now rub it. Brian McCarthy interview show. Listen to that beat. Touch it. Now rub it. I wish I could still drink.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very, very special midweek edition of the Brian McCarthy interview show. My name is Brian McCarthy. Sitting to my right or left, depending upon where you're looking or if you're the camera or not.
Stage left.
Stage left. Stage left is actually.
Forget my stage direction.
Oh no, you've got it right. You are stage. You are
because you're facing the stage. It's actually to the right. Yeah, it's the opposite or no?
No, you're. The way that you're sitting, if you're facing that, if the camera's the audience, you're stage right.
Okay.
All right. That's it's 12 years of the Yale School of Drama, and that's what I walked away with.
We'll invoice you for that.
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
That lesson.
Commedia dell'arte, or I tell you, with the lunch I just had, more like del farte. And welcome to the show.
We're gassy.
Typically we do the show on Friday, but today we're doing it on Tuesday because last Friday, I was on a little family vacation, went to Grand Cayman, which is in the Caribbean. A lovely time. It was very nice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you couple of interesting facts things that happened down there. Number one, it's not a great story, but my daughter and I ended up which is a great way to start any story, but this is really not a good story. But my daughter and I took a ferry, then we took a boat. Hello.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, she took a ferry.
Yeah, out for dinner. My dad's a queer. But we went to this thing called Rum Point, which is basically like the Grand Cayman's kind of like a big horseshoe. So there's an area that is all the way across this giant bay. And if you drive there, it's an hour plus, hour 10 or something. But if you take a ferry, it's a half an hour. And so we were we had the day and we wanted to go, it's called Rum Point. So let's go check out Rum Point. So we ended up getting on this ferry and going to Rum Point. And then we got off the boat and we kind of looked around and it's like, there's really nothing there. There's like a restaurant. Okay, fine. And then but we asked people that worked at the restaurant, we were like, hey, are we in Rum Point? And they were kind of like, yeah, kind of. And I was like, okay, what do you mean? I don't understand.
When you're in Rum Point, you'll know it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I expected some sort of buccaneer to be coming. Ahoy, ye mateys.
Sounds like the kind of place you might go to black out.
Yeah.
Rum Point.
Yeah. Or like a Captain Morgan cosplayer comes up to me and he's like, oh, how many doubloons you be having? But so we showed up. Well, it turns out that Rum Point, and I can't because we were on this crowded ferry. It was like 25 people on this ferry, and we apparently what you do is you get into this little marina where this restaurant was, and then from there it's a 35-minute walk to the actual beach of Rum Point.
To the point,
which I'm like, who the fuck even does that? I don't want to sound like I'm spoiled, but it's hot there. I can't really imagine getting off a boat and then getting to some little road and then being like, all right, now hey kids.
Yeah. Is there some kind of a path? I'm guessing that you walk down or
didn't even go that far.
Yeah.
Didn't. We got right to the restaurant.
Get that far.
I was like, let's have lunch.
Got to the gift shop.
Well, let's figure it out. So we had lunch and then we essentially were there. And then we didn't have a ferry to get back. So because we only had one way ticket because it was sold out. So I was just kind of like, I'll take a cab back. So we go to our waiter, very attractive South African white guy. Hello.
Okay.
And he was like, and we said to him, I was like, hey, listen, I was like, are we in Run Point? And he's like, no, man, you got to go like 35 kilometers or something, you know, some weird
sure, right.
metric number, you know, 7
Unit of
kilometers.
measure,
All right, hello. And gonna go up the Rudy Kiffers.
Yeah.
And so I was and he goes, I said, well, you know what? We're not gonna do that. We're gonna take a cab back. And he goes, oh, that's gonna be really expensive. I was like, well, how much? He goes, probably like $300. And I was like, $300 to go from wherever the fuck this is.
300 American US or like island bucks.
By the way, I should be so lucky. Grand Cayman money is always fixed at 20%. So every dollar in Grand Cayman is only worth 80 cents US. So everything is
so actually the exchange works against your. Okay, it's like going to England or something.
Yes,
when
exactly.
When the pound is strong.
Right. How many shillings for this?
Right. How many quid?
How many eel pies can I buy for 10 pence? But anyway, yeah. So that's the thing.
Oh, so 300 US plus an extra
$60, give or take, right? Because it's 20%. No, 90, 30, 60, 90.
Oh, wait, I thought you were saying that.
If something was,
I thought you were saying our dollar is worth 80 cents.
Okay, here's how it goes. If something is 300 in Grand Cayman,
sure,
you're really going to be spending 360 US.
Got you. Sure.
Yes.
Because an extra. Okay, so it would. So we are talking 360 US.
Yes.
Holy shit.
I know exactly, and that's why.
Oh my God.
And that's why number one, Grand Cayman is incredibly expensive, and which is, you know, it was fine, but like but you go there and like it's an interesting island because like you know, sometimes you'll go to like an island and you'll kind of get hustled, or I think the people that live on Grand Cayman have like more money than the tourists. Like
sure,
nobody's on the hustle. I mean, they drive you know, you get driven around
Gilded Age in Grand Cayman.
It's like full of like weird white people that have just kind of like that sort of live in the British Empire and just kind of show up in Grand. Like it's a very and plus there's a lot of banking there, so it's not only like when you go to like, I don't know, Jamaica, where there's some like resort, you don't leave the resort because they'll chop your head off. And here it's like going to Connecticut with like nice water and good weather. It's just everything's just fine, you know. So anyway, so then the hostess, very attractive African girl, she comes up and she was like, I heard that you guys want to take a taxi. And now she's like, now it'd be funny if it keeps going up. She's like, it's going to be $800. But she said, I'll tell you what. She goes, we have people that work here that have cars. She's like, if you just pay somebody that works here, they'll just drive you.
Yeah, $100 or something.
Well,
maybe.
I tried.
No, okay.
500. No, I said, okay. I said,
like, it becomes a ransom. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah. She's like, we're tying you to Rum Point.
Actually.
We're going to stab you with the point of Rum Point.
We're giving your wife a dollar amount. She's like, if she ever wants to see you again.
What's your least favorite finger? Because we're not chopping that one off. It was a trick question. We're chopping off your favorite finger. No. That's my pointing finger.
Yeah.
So she says, I'm going to find somebody. So I said that to her. I said, well, what do you think? $100? You know, kind of like she's my buddy. I'm like, can you get me to $100? She was like, I said, I tell you what, how about $1.50 and everybody gets out alive? So she was like, okay, great. So then my daughter and I go, we wait, and the African girl comes up a minute later and she's like, neither one of them can do it. So I'm going to call you guys a cab. Cab will be here, and it'll be here, and it's only going to be about $150. I was like, about?
Okay.
Because again, it's not like where you go to some I've been in places where like you have to like nail. It's like when you go to, you know, Marrakesh and you're buying a rug, you have to be like, no, it's 70 dinars or whatever, you know. So she was like, it's going to be
you got to haggle.
Or at the very least, set the price.
Sure.
You know, so there's no ambiguity.
Right.
So she goes, it'll be around $1.50. So the guy shows up, cab driver, and he picks us up, and then it's this incredibly long cab ride. So
yeah, how long about would you say?
About an hour.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. Yeah, if you want to take a lift for an hour, like it'll run you a couple $100. I'm guessing. What if we take a lift from here to I don't know.
West Hampton, New York.
Sure.
That'd be, you know, I hear
Terrytown. I don't know. Or no,
I don't like to wait around. I'd rather go to Hurry Up Town. So anywho, but I was talking to the cab driver the whole drive, and I asked him, I was like, because you never even, I have gone there, I don't know, 10 times probably over the last 25 years, maybe. And I have never once seen a police car. I've never seen an ambulance. I'm sure they're there, but you just don't see anything. You just see like you just see regular cars and some taxis, but it's a big island. But it's just it's weird in that, like, I've never heard a siren. Like, if you go to Puerto Rico, which you've been to, right?
Yeah.
It is a cacophony.
There it's nothing but it's sirens and reggaeton.
Yes.
Just kind of like
it's the loudest
dueling.
I would rather take a vacation in a diamond mine than go there because of just, I'd be like, they're like, do you mind blasting dynamite? I'm like, no, I just spent a weekend in San Juan. I'm fine. It is so fucking loud. So this place, they don't have any of that. There's just nothing, so
interesting.
But I asked the guy, I said, what if you commit a crime on Grand Cayman? I said, is there even like a prison here? What's the deal here? Where do you stick the bad guys on Grand Cayman? And he goes, oh yeah, we have a prison. Sure. He goes, absolutely. And I said, what's the crime here like? And he goes, well, I'll tell you. He goes, if you are caught on Grand Cayman with a gun, it's automatic 10 years in jail.
Okay.
That's it. 10 years. And for every bullet that's either in the gun, loaded, or even just in your pocket, it's an additional year per bullet.
Fuck.
And if you only have bullets on you, let's say you have 5 bullets.
Well, you gave me the full rundown.
Long cab ride. It's a year per bullet. So you have 5 bullets, 5 years, et cetera, obviously. And he said there's no way to even fight it.
Negotiate. There's no plea.
That's the law.
Plea deals.
You get caught and that's the shit.
Holy shit.
Because sometimes if you go, like when I was in Costa Rica, all the houses are covered in bars and there's shit in the windows. And, there's this island, there's nothing like that. All the houses.
I wonder if there's a nook or cranny where it's a little more gritty. You know what I mean? I don't know.
He said yes, there is. Okay. But even there,
the barrio.
Yes, even there, it's fine. It's just it's not really and also every car on that island, according to this guy, has a government GPS in it. So if you buy a car on Grand Cayman, every car that's in Grand Cayman, they know where the car has gone, where the car has come from, where the car has blah 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 blah, and they're all linked up,
accounted for. Okay, so there's a lot of accountability. It sounds like you can't just be rogue on Grand Cayman,
something like that. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. So anyway, but it was nice, very very hot, and it's funny because we were at the Marriott, which was lovely, but it was a lot of it's a lot of families, and it's a lot of teenage girls. If that's your thing. That's
okay. That's everybody's thing, right?
You know what? I have to be
not literally.
I have to be completely candid with you. Thank God I'm not attracted to teenage girls.
Right?
Because I was in the elevator with my daughters and my wife, and we were I don't know, it was one of the nights, and these bunch of girls got on. They were 15, 16, I don't know who even knows. And they're all really nice. And I remember thinking to myself, because I have a policy, where I live in my building, there's
grass on the field, play ball.
Yeah, my policy is if you can bleed, then it's a party. Right. But it's kind of gross too. I like getting them right. I like getting them right on the cusp. No, but what I mean is if I'm on my elevator and 2 teenage girls get on the elevator, I never turn and go hey girls, how was school today?
God.
Yeah, but people do that.
Jesus, really?
Or hey guy, hey, pretty hot. It's gonna be spring soon. I don't make small talk with girls that could be under 18. I frankly,
I'm with you.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how many and how many guys would be what do you mean? I'm just being friendly. There are, no, you guys.
You've got most of an erection.
Yeah, you got a lot of grass stains on your knees. You girls play sports or just doing a lot of kneeling in the park.
Volleyball. Yeah. That's true. No, and I mean, even in amongst show business, you got kind of your David Spade types, these guys that are sort of known as, not teenage girls, but right on the cusp of they're dating 22, you're in your 50s.
Yes.
And you're hot for girls in their early 20s.
Which, by the way, listen, as long as everybody's 18, then
sure,
knock yourself out. I think it's gross or creepy or whatever. Sure, maybe, but at the same time, for me, it's but when I if I'm in, I just don't want any of that. I'm just look, whatever, just I don't care. But like these,
Yes.
and also like they look like young fawns to me or colts. You know what I mean? Like they're just kind of like,
here's the thing.
Go ahead.
And I think this could be good because I think we're non-creeps, at least not in this way. We might be creeps in a different way.
Oh yeah.
But I think when you're like a dude and you become a middle-aged man, something like changes where you go from being like hot for young women to feeling like almost paternal.
Yes.
So now I see like,
by the way,
a bunch of young girls and I go like, oh, that's it's adorable.
By the way, or that seal is broken and that just never happens and you're like 70 and you're like,
no, I think that there's a weird thing. I mean,
but I mean, I'm like Jeffrey Epstein, like those kind of guys.
Sure. Right.
Like there are. I mean, there are guys that like physically. That's why I always say like being a pedophile would be horrible.
Yeah,
everyone, because these kids are tattletales.
But like mouthy. These little broads.
Yeah, and I'm pedophile. I always think whenever I think pedophile, I never think young girls. I just always think boys. I'm always like,
I always go there too.
Yeah, I always think like if I met a pedophile and they were like, I love 12-year-old girls, I would be like, you're not a real pedophile.
Did you see that documentary? It was
be like meeting a French Canadian.
Sure,
like you're not really French.
Did you see that crime doc called the Keepers on Netflix? It's about like I believe it's around your neck of the woods, and I believe in Baltimore.
Oh,
but all the priests, the crazy corruption, and they were like working with the police, and I mean it was wild. They had like a sex ring, but I remember being very shocked that a lot of them were young girls.
Yeah.
And I was, listen, I'm pretty traditional in that sense.
No, that's
yuck.
That's kind of like, and you'll forgive the pun, but that's like farm raised salmon. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you're gonna be a pedophile. Get in there with the boys.
But it was just funny that it was notable that they were young women. A lot of them were young women. I'm sure there was boys too.
You think the other priests are like, you are disgusting? Look at that.
Kind of. I feel like he would be excommunicated for that reason.
How was your little cheerleader? As he has like two altar boys in headlocks,
right?
And he's just spitting in their mouths. Now this is how you do it, Father Thomas. Jesus Look what I'm up to. You faking the funk much?
Right.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there are people that are like attracted to that. It must be horrible.
I think 100%. But I'm completely with you. Where I don't want to say I'm terrified, but I'm kind of like, if I'm in that same elevator, I'm like, oh yeah, God, I'm probably like the lamest person to them. Which by the way, just shut the fuck up and be like nice. And
I'm not even nice. I'm almost weird. I'll turn my back. I just like, I don't want anything because
I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Like you won't take the elevator with them.
Oh yeah. I just go, you girls. And I wait. I go, stinky.
Yes.
No, but I just, and again, like, because there are guys that would just get on, and there are guys that are like, and then some guys, I think they don't even realize like how creepy they're being, or they don't even acknowledge their own carnal desires. They're just being, they're like, what? My niece plays volleyball.
It's natural.
I just wanted to know how the volleyball game went. They were all sweaty. Like, ugh, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
It's
pretty weird, but it is nice to not be sort of plagued by that. I don't even really get into, like, even in porn, I don't really go.
Me neither. Thank God.
Barely legal. I mean, occasionally, like if
one gets in the woodpile.
Yeah, if there's like an outstanding candidate or something, where I'm like, okay, but listen, even that's kind of weird.
If you listen to the show, my favorite porn site is Mom POV.
Yeah, you kind of go the opposite direction.
Although I will say, this is kind of
ladies, you go crazy for the scrapbooking group.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right. I'm like, I want Pillow Talk to be about the Golden Girls reboot, which, by the way, they're doing. Did you know that?
Really? They're without Betty White? How do you do that?
Well, it's a whole reboot.
It's like a full. Okay, it's not like a.
They're all
not getting the band back together.
No, they're all dead.
dead.
They've got to be.
Okay.
Estelle Getty and fucking B. Arthur and
I think you're probably right. I think probably, she was the last one to go.
B. Arthur.
No. What did I?
Betty White.
Betty White. Maybe she was the last one. The last girl standing.
I do remember seeing, like, when they started the Golden Girls, apparently all the actresses were like in their 50s. They were actually relatively young, especially now that I'm 51. They're young, but when they were all like much younger than they were actually playing younger than the characters that they were on the show. But, you know, that was fucking 35, 40 years ago. So, you know, even if they were like 45, they'd be, you know, in their late 80s now. So I wonder if the black guy's still alive. Mark somebody. Mark Ruffalo? Do I have that right? No, remember there was like the wacky black guy. I think he was like gay, but I don't think.
Are you thinking of Designing Women?
I am.
Meshock Taylor or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. I was thinking.
Okay. None of the Golden Girls are still alive.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure they were good and dead. Estelle Getty died in 2008. B. Arthur 2009. Rue McClanahan died in 2010.
She was like the sexy one.
Oh yeah.
Remember her? She'd
You're
be
telling me.
Yeah. She's like, sorry, girls, if you smell something, my snatch is dripping with old man jizz.
Right. Hey, real quick, let me read this.
Yeah, everybody
let me read this.
Get on the
because we have something that we could very much address here. Tony Eveready says, Brian, what's the beef with KB? Why not go on MLC for a one-off show? The people would love it.
Okay. All right.
We've got news about that.
Do we? News?
Because okay. So I had texted him a while back and I was like, hey, if you want to have Brian on. And because I really was like, I just want to see that. I feel like it's like a science experiment.
Sure.
Right. Pepsi and Pop Rocks.
Or it's like, or something. Like putting aluminum foil in the microwave and going away for the weekend.
Yes. And he kind of didn't get back to me for a while.
Okay.
And then the other day we had to talk about something. So he had called me and we talked about some stuff. And he was like, oh, by the way, I want to have, he wanted to have us together. And I was a bit busy during the week for a while. Sure. So, but he was like, it would be fun to have you guys together.
I agree.
And I'm like, good. Cause to promote this and stuff. And so he was like, just sort of let me know. So we're soon, but the both of us, I guess, will be.
Yeah, but Tony, just to kind of extrapolate
no beef,
on that. There's no beef. However, we have gotten to this point several times over the past couple of years to where.
Yeah, but he never, like this time he reached out and was like, oh, I didn't, because I think he was like, I didn't mean to like ghost you about that or whatever. It wasn't that I had any kind of feeling about it. It was just me being, busy or whatever.
I sort of feel like you sound like an abused child. Where
yes, he doesn't. I'm rationalizing his behavior.
Yeah, he promised he'll come watch me play soccer.
Yes.
He's coming to my soccer game. I told him it's the championships.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you could be right. I could be battered.
He shows up late with the ashes of his dead brother in a shoebox. Sorry, I'm late. I'm looking for a lake to scatter these in.
And Ovo Cool Cat says, hey boys, he celebrated 7 months as a member, it says on here.
Oh, hey, congratulations.
Hey, if you want to be a member,
you can be a member.
Become a member of the show, and then you can watch we live stream the bonus episodes.
We do.
And
yes.
They're all archived on there.
Yeah, so you get to. It's fun. It's a lot of extra content, and also, So to answer your question, Tony, we are certainly. I
think I would say let's try to do it next week. He basically said like just figure out a day where.
Okay.
I don't totally know my next week, but if you're like. It's 4 p.m. is when the show.
Yeah, I can make something work. Okay. 4 p.m. is actually good because
you don't have to stay on the whole time. I mean, like,
come on, you kidding me?
Because he does like 4-hour shows sometimes.
Well, I'm not doing from 4 to 8. That seems crazy. But
can't do a half a shift part time.
Yeah, you're gonna break for dinner, come back.
Mm-hmm.
No, I feel like yeah, I can do it because I have like a standing gym thing from 2 to 3.
Oh, so perfect.
4 o'clock is great.
Yeah.
Do you mean? And I know the answer to this already.
Yes.
Do you mean we go to Jersey City?
No.
Oh, okay.
So we just joked about that. That wasn't a real.
All right. I don't know.
I do think it'd be funny if we pretended like we thought it was in person and we just went to Kevin's bed. We just huddled around his headset in his bed. No. This is just remote. We wouldn't even. I'd be at my house, you'd be here via satellite. Okay.
And 4 o'clock is good because I could, I can make it work. Sure. But I do
try. We'll shoot for next week.
We've come this close before, but there's and also just to sort of let you know, there's no beef or anything with Kevin and I. As a matter of fact, last time I saw Kevin, I did that show with Anthony Cumia, whatever that was, 2 years ago, and it was fine. It was great. It was okay. I mean,
you guys are great.
We're fine. We're great. We share an intellectual commonality. Let's call it that. and a shared heritage.
Oh, we got another one from Roy Cohen, Esquire.
What's up, Roy?
He says, "Who's the Israelite in the basketball game pick behind you?" That's Soupy Sales.
Soupy Sales.
Yeah.
You got to know he's an old school radio guy here in New York, and he actually had a children's show, and he got in big trouble because he told all the kids who watch his show, he said, "Go into your parents' wallets and pull out all that funny paper that looks like it's green and send it to me." And they put the address on there, and he got in trouble for that. So Soupy Sales is he's a real character. He's an old school
shock jock.
Yeah, one of the original ones. Yeah, exactly. So
Roy Cohen goes on to say, he says, "Wow, interesting. I don't know when this happened." He said, "KB in his way is ashamed about how he treated you. He recently said how great BPM, Brian P. McCarthy, was and how much he appreciated him." I don't know if he's gaslighting, if he's making this up, or
listen. I think Kevin knows that we put some really funny shows together. So and look, I've always said, and this is not like some backhanded compliment to myself, but like in terms of any co-host or anything that Kevin worked with or sidekick, whatever you want to call it, I hung in there longer than anybody else by a country mile.
Yeah.
And so, and I really enjoyed working with Kevin.
As far as because you guys were actually properly working together. Yeah. Like it wasn't like a Chad or a Ray or somebody where they're kind of like
it was 4 days a week
in and out. Yeah, it was in person.
And in person. We would meet
at 4 days a week.
Well, because we did Compound Media.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay,
but how many days a week was Burning Bridges?
Burning Bridges for a while was 2 days a week.
Oh, okay. So, and then we would do MLC.
Yeah. So 3 days a week.
Okay. Right. I wasn't sure if you guys were doing like drive time or something. I wasn't aware.
Yeah. We also hosted Antique Roadshow on PBS.
And then Roy Cohen also says waddle doodle. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but I'm with you.
It's some kind of a dog whistle.
Well, it's nice that
okay.
Well, it's nice that he said that because I thought I
could see him actually say Kevin sometimes gets weirdly sentimental.
I don't know. He's such a nut.
He's gone through some stuff recently, and I think that he's talked about on the show.
Sure.
So he's
well, I mean, look, the whole thing started because I was listening to Kevin was on Jim and Sam or Jim and Opie or something, or Sam and Opie, or whatever the fuck it was.
I think it was Opie and Jim then.
I think you're probably right. And I heard him on the show, and Eddie Ift is a buddy of mine, and so I called Eddie. And because Eddie, I did the show with him and Jim Jeffries and blah, blah, blah. So I called Eddie and I was like, "Hey, do you know Kevin Brennan?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah. I mean, Eddie's great. Eddie's like always like, he'll never not say he doesn't know somebody. So he's always good to ask. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I know him. We went camping together." And so I said, he does a podcast. I'm like, I would love to be a guest on the podcast. And Eddie, who's always been really great with me, reached out to Kevin and facilitated me being a guest on the show, and then from there
the rest is history. I remember that day like it was yesterday.
I'm glad you do.
Over at the comic. That was during the times when you would be a little you do a little time travel.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, 7 deep. Yeah.
Well, and then we were such enablers too, because it became part of it became part of the show we would.
It's kind of it was hard to ignore. It was either like acknowledge the persistent alcoholism or like not have me on the show. I mean, you couldn't, you can only hide a bottle of Chardonnay in the toilet tank for so long.
You couldn't ignore it.
Ever tell my father in the empty vodka bottles?
Yeah.
I love that story.
In the
oven.
Yeah, that's
Is there anything more like 80s latchkey kid than trying to like put a chicken pot pie in the oven?
Yeah. And Swanson's chicken pot pie. But
did you ever make those things when you were a kid?
I was like king of the latchkeys.
But by the way, the funny thing about those is they were frozen solid, and you had to put them in the oven at like 450 for like an hour and a half.
And then once they were out, you would have to wait another hour.
Yes.
Because I would just sort of
flip it over
on a plate and bust it open. And then it would
that's the move.
You could like take a steam.
Yes. Yeah. You could, sometimes I would poach an egg in the steam over it. I just hold an egg in my hand. It just, so much steam would billow out of that thing.
Vinegar in a fucking,
and once in a while, I did love a TV dinner, like the Hungry Man.
Oh, 100%. I was, Swanson's Hungry Man. I was, all about the frozen.
And then they made Hungry Man double portion. So there's like there's like a Hungry Man. I have not eaten a TV dinner in, I don't know, whatever, 100 years or whatever. But like I remember them having like, you could get like the Swanson, which is kind of depressing. It looks institutionalized. Hungry Man had like a very cartoonish box, it was like this fried chicken that'd be like bursting out of the thing, and the apple cobbler, which was always 800 degrees. But then they would have like Hungry Man. Will you look it up for me, please? Maybe make sure. Just look up double portion Hungry Man, please.
Yeah, this is not.
It was basically
not
like
something I was aware of.
I remember picking one up. I think I was in the grocery store, and I wasn't actually shopping for a TV dinner, but I was like, I was in the aisle, and I was like, let me see what innovations they've.
I remember the family size things.
No, this is for one
double portion.
Hungry Man TV dinner.
Okay, double portion size. Okay.
What comes up?
Hungry Man combos. Chicken. Let's see. Let's see. Hungry Man double meats bowl.
There you go.
Bowls offer. That sounds like a newer
thing. That does sound like newer to me.
2 servings of a main dish, such as, this is a good one, Salisbury steak.
Oh, I'm starving.
That was one that I would get. Fried chicken or pork paired with sides like mac and cheese.
So these are more like I want to
find a picture.
Yeah, this is like an actual TV dinner. This was like had the little compartments, in it, but the compartments were really big. So this is for one person who's either incredibly high or very hungry. I just remember I was in the aisle for like frozen stuff, and I remember looking through. I was like, "What kind of innovations have the people at TV Dinner Land come up with recently?" And I found one of these things, and I flipped it over, and like the amount of sodium in like one of these meals, it was like 9,000% of your daily sodium intake.
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
crazy. Well, it looks like not only was it a thing, it looks like it's still going, because they're doing like Hungry Man combos where you can get, it's teriyaki chicken and orange chicken.
Oh boy.
Salisbury steak and fried chicken combo.
Yeah. You know what's weird is like, it's weird to have fried chicken that stays crispy, but crispy.
Well, if we're talking, are you throwing them in the oven?
Oh,
same. Yeah, same. Yeah, it would be crispy then, because it's like heavily kind of battered. Oh, by the way, Roy Cohen also says Waddle Doodle is what Soupy used to say.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So he's asking who he was. He was just trying to get a conversation going. He knew who he was.
Okay, Soupy says, and I'm right about that thing with the money. Because as I was saying it, I was like, am I making this up? Not making it up, but is it about somebody else? But no, it isn't.
Waddle Doodle.
So, and then, a couple more show notes here on April 18th. Okay. We have Hollywood Howard coming through, and we can just talk about this because he doesn't listen to the show.
No,
so
I don't think he would know how to.
No. He's like,
would know how to access.
No, he's
like looking on AM radio probably for the signal.
Although I can see him like wrapping his head in aluminum foil with like a clock radio, being like, how do I get the internet on this thing? Just with like a half empty bottle of Prosecco between his legs as his girlfriend's making him sleep in the hallway. So the idea that we have for him, and I've talked about this a little bit kind of, I think, in Patreon, but on the 18th is to, for those of you, I know he's a polarizing figure. Some people hate him. Some people love him. Some people want to care less.
I think everybody's going to like this, though.
Well, yeah. And the reason why, and by the way, if you can join the Patreon and help, because, I have to pay for this. So it's annoying, but I'm going to do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to have Hollywood Howard on the show. We're going to give him a birthday hat. We're going to have a nice bottle of champagne, or probably Prosecco, or whatever, maybe a cava, who knows? And we're going to have that for him. We're going to, about 15 minutes into the show, we're going to have a knock on the door, and then I'm going to say, "Uh-oh, who's that?" And we're going to have the person come in, and it's going to be an adult girl. Now, whether it's somebody an adult girl,
you mean like in the adult industry?
Yes, I was getting there, but yes, an adult industry gal.
Not just adult girl meaning woman.
Not just, although frankly,
full-grown woman.
Frankly, it sounds cheaper to me. I don't know if we could go on Craigslist and find an activity partner.
Yeah.
So the idea is, and if you listen to the show for a while, to have and by the way, I mean a cis-born woman. So what I mean is like, not somebody who's trans. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know if Howard could handle it. And the idea would be,
we could also just not tell him.
Yeah,
he wouldn't know. But we don't want to put anybody in a weird situation.
And frankly, not to give it away. But if this goes as I want it to go, he would know whether or not they were male or female.
Okay.
Because we would have Howard do an inspection. We would do like a gender
inspection,
like a gender reveal for a 25-year-old trans girl, gender reveal. But so that's the idea. So Howard's sitting in a chair. The doorbell goes off, right? My fucking dogs go crazy. I go to the door. We let them in. They come in, and it's going to be either Cassie Black, Joanna Angel, what did it say? What's her name? Joanna Love.
Jenna Love.
Jenna Love, right?
Lucy Sunflower.
Probably not Lucy Sunflower.
I hope
but
it's Lucy.
I know.
I feel like she'd be the one that would be most down.
For
an older fella, and I feel like he would be attracted to her.
Do you think so?
Yeah, 100%. Because you can't really tell that she's hairy.
Oh God, I'm gonna throw up
with that. Until she mentioned it, I didn't know. I hadn't seen her work.
Well, here's the thing. Once she mentioned it, it's all I could see.
But I did notice her arms were hairier than mine.
Yeah,
she's of Latina descent.
Yeah,
I believe. So
yeah,
but I feel like he'd be into her because she kind of
she seems. Listen, I'll to go down this path with you for a minute.
Sure,
she's definitely a goer. Like no question. And in terms of with the economics of it, I bet she's in our price range for sure.
100%.
But I also think she might be. I just don't know if how much of a filter Howard has, where he might be like, "You're so hairy," or something. But by the way,
you're right. That could get weird.
I think it could get, but also she
owns it, so she would be like, "Thanks, really."
She owns it. She owns it for people that are attracted to that. Right. I think if
it could get weird, if pejorative,
yes, whatever that means, yes, but 100%. So that's what I mean to say is like she is definitely a goer. She's definitely in the budget. And I think she'd be a lot of fun on the show. I just think she's like a niche product.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, and it's a shame because,
however,
go ahead.
I wonder if a guy like Howard would kind of almost be in that area. There's no real way for us to tell. I'm just kind of like,
yes, I hear you.
Hypothetically,
I'm doing the same thing.
Now that I'm thinking about it, because he has mentioned he likes a bush, I think.
Well, yeah, but a bush that starts at somebody's armpits?
Yeah, it's not that bad. I've seen it. It's not great, but she's like a young woman, so she's not that hairy, really.
Okay, I guess. I don't know.
Look it up again.
Are we thinking about the same? Don't use my phone. I'm about to get a new phone.
I mean, we're using mine for the things.
I know. I'm just kidding. You can use my phone. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I would.
So in a perfect world, and we were talking about this before the show, but in a perfect world, for me, in my mind, it's Joanna Angel. Because she is, number one, she's performative. You know what I mean? Like she would she would look at it almost as like an acting job. We would pay her, even though she's a friend she's friends with Joe and she's done the show and I've talked to her off of the show and she's very nice. But like, I would want to pay her something because I'd want her to sort of understand. I feel like it's a lot to say to somebody, "Hey, can you come to our show and can you like?"
Okay, real quick, look at this.
I can't really see it. Thank God.
You could. It's nice and tight.
Yeah,
it's not even bad. It's actually trim. Maybe she's not the hairy one.
Okay,
anymore.
Listen. In the interest, if we can, I'm
just saying. Like
let's reach out. Let's reach out to Lucy.
It's not even. Yeah. Maybe she's done. There's some here that are more.
Okay. Matter of fact, I'm on. Yeah. See what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be grossed out. I don't want to gross you out in your own home.
I don't. Again, it's not about me, but it's really more about her than anybody else because I wouldn't want Howard to not have a filter and be like, "What are you, a fucking gorilla or something?" I don't know what, like make her feel badly about her body or whatever.
Right.
All I want is I want someone to walk through. I want a sure thing. I want like a home run.
Okay.
And I think Joanna Angel, who's like this, this sexy tattooed Jewish fidget, porn superstar kind of thing, like. She would come in, she would sit on his lap, she would do whatever. By the way, also, we don't get kicked off of YouTube or even Patreon. So
yeah, no, we're not. I don't think we're in any jeopardy of that.
Okay, good. Well, I'll defer to you.
Gets blown or so. I mean, on YouTube, you can't really even show. But I mean, even like a little nip. We've had a little nip slip here and there. Nothing happened.
Okay, so we'll do bikini top, and then maybe she can like give him a hand job under the table or something. Is
That'd
that
be great?
okay? That would be great. Okay, as long as you can't see it, I guess. And so
no, I think it's
and then on
probably okay.
And then not to like oversell the Patreon, but on the Patreon, we're gonna really try and get what I'm thinking for the Patreon is just off the top of my head is we'll have her directly off camera and she can do some sort of like a show or something.
I mean, she can be naked. We've done naked on camera. It's fine.
Yeah, but
just as long as nobody's getting jerked.
I mean, like let's say there's digital manipulation. Let's say
that could be.
Yeah, let's say she brings, and I hate when people call these this, but when she brings like a toy.
You know what's crazy though? What I've been noticing is there are people now doing. Maybe we have to do a little research.
Okay, sure.
But there are people
Show's over.
Doing like sex stuff on Patreon now, and it's like it's okay. I mean, so I think it's kind of a weird gray because they don't have any kind of like system like YouTube where like
a
computer literally catches if it falls between certain parameters. It just lights out, right?
Uh-huh.
Patreon is not that sophisticated, and they're more kind of like user friendly kind of thing. So it's I think we could probably kind of we get
okay. I wouldn't want to
lose on Patreon.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to lose that incredibly valuable revenue stream.
Yeah, God knows you're financially devastated. Hey, really quick, our boy Gustav wants he's chiming in on the Hungry Man talk.
Okay,
and
please.
This is something that's really in my wheelhouse
Go
too. He says Trader Joe's steak and stout pies is their take on a pot pie, but shockingly good if you're talking TV dinners. I will pay for Hollywood's entertainment, he's saying.
Oh, shit.
So Gustav's looking to maybe foot the bill. I mean, listen, we would take you up on that. He's like an eccentric millionaire.
Oh, hello, Gustav. Yeah. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm sure we've talked before. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to, the 18th isn't that far away. And also, by the way, no show this Friday. I'm going to be going away again this weekend.
Oh, you're going away again this week? Then it's perfect that we're doing today.
Exactly.
Because it's
that's why I thought.
Give the people what they want.
A week from today, hopefully we can get back in.
Where are you going this weekend? Can you say? Or
I don't want to say because I don't think I'm going to visit some family. Let's just put it that way. And and it's going to be just a quick weekend trip. But I'm leaving Friday, coming back Sunday, so I won't be around. Right. But a week from today, hopefully, I didn't even talk to you about this, but hopefully we can do it next Tuesday, and then we'll be back on schedule for Friday.
Yeah, probably one of the my schedule's a little like, but we'll definitely do it during the week. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever.
Yeah. We'll figure.
I always have at least one day.
So we have a little bit of it's a little show schedule's a little all over the place, but it'll be fixed up by next week, a week from Friday. So
we'll right the ship.
Yes. So just to get back to the whole Howard adult
and we got to address this Trader Joe's stout pie comment.
By the way, I'm not surprised by that Trader Joe's comment.
I get those. I used to get them almost weekly. The Trader Joe's stout pie. I'm a big Trader Joe's guy.
Are they good?
Yeah. Really good. Yeah, it's like like at a pub where you get
right.
They're very good. So I'm a huge proponent.
What they call those?
You know what they used to have, Gustav, was like a chicken curry version of that, which I love. The bati pie or whatever, but
Batiman pie.
Batiman came with the Batiman.
Yeah, full with jizam.
Mm-hmm. Gully, but served with a gully queen. But that's like a trans.
I know.
Chick.
Trust me, I'm familiar. I've seen the documentary.
But that was fucking great. So I don't know if you ever had the bati pie, but that was fucking out of this world. But I'll settle for the stout pie.
No, for those of you who don't, or I don't know if they even have Trader Joe's in like other countries, but it's out of California, and their frozen shit is really fantastic. Like
pretty good.
I have a buddy of mine when I lived in LA, and he was French, and he would swear by their chocolate croissants. He was like, they're frozen. You take them out. You have to proof them overnight. And there's a little bit of like, I know there's a little bit of like, yeah, right. I know. He was like, you take them out, you leave them in the fridge overnight so they rise, and then you put them in the oven. Blah blah blah. So no, Trader Joe's has great shit like that. I never go because you know what I don't like. I hate when like you have to go to a grocery store and then you have to go to another grocery store.
You know that does happen to me sometimes because a lot of times they just won't have very regular stuff. Like I was there the other day. And they didn't have any Dijon mustard.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
No.
A grocery store
Oh,
not having.
God.
So I had to then.
It's like 9/11 all over
but
again.
I don't have a Trader Joe's that close to me. I gotta take the subway a couple of stops to go to the. So I do like my big. I do the big stuff there, and then throughout the week I'll swing by my local grocer.
Right. Well, it's like when you go to Whole Foods. Like Whole Foods is fine, but you can't get like Heinz ketchup or something there. You have to get like you have to get their 365.
Though I will say this
on
the topic of ketchup, Trader Joe's ketchup is fucking excellent.
Okay.
So I'd say Heinz who.
But you can't but on that, like if you're at Whole Foods again, you can't get aluminum foil. You can't get Reynolds wrap. You have
really?
to get, they have aluminum foil, but it's like,
do you need Reynolds wrap?
Oh my God. I go through 50 yards
a
day.
You can't just use whatever brand.
Listen, I make robots. Okay. And robots need to be made with Reynolds wrap, not aluminum foil. That shit's horse shit. But no, it's the kind of thing where if you want like a particular brand of stuff, you can't get it at.
So my thing with that is when it comes to TJ's, I prefer
TJ's,
whatever the Trader Joe's brand is. I want it to be sold to me by a non-binary person in a Hawaiian shirt.
Right.
I prefer that.
Yeah. Who is only there for the health insurance.
Yes,
exactly.
No, they're very chipper. Like there's a whole thing there. I don't know if it's like how real it is, but they're very enthusiastic. I think they have good morale.
When I lived in LA, the Trader Joe's they're like every 10 feet out there. And remember, I don't even know if they have it. They don't really have it here because they don't sell wine here. But you know what $2 Chuck is?
Sure, yeah. Charles Schwab, or not Charles Schwab,
but Charles Shaw.
Shaw, there you go.
Yeah. They do accounting and dirt cheap wine.
Yes. $2 Chuck.
But it's funny because I remember when I was doing the adult stuff, as a celebratory at the end of a day, I actually sent a PA to Trader Joe's to get 2 cases of $2 Chuck for like all of the girls working
for
in
the rap party.
That was
Hell
it was a bad idea.
Really?
Yeah, because number one, the guys I was partnered with, they were like, everyone, like all these girls, they're like gremlins. You can't just give them alcohol. Like they're just porn girls in the middle of the day. And really, Barrett Blade, he's the one, he told me, he took me aside and he was like, this was a bad idea. He's like,
he felt like that was an amateur.
Yeah. Barrett, any opportunity Barrett Blade had to dress me down with my lack of experience in the adult industry. Wow. He was always, he was my, what was the name of the character in Quinn John in Phantom Menace?
Okay.
He was Quinn John and I was Ewan McGregor. I was a young Ben Kenobi. He'd be like, listen, number one, if you ever call me gay again, I'm going to put you through the fucking wall.
My favorite thing was because you made fun of him for drinking Crystal Light.
Yes, I did.
That's a great detail.
Yes.
Because Crystal Light, that is such such a throwback, stupid thing of the time.
Yes. Well, also, you familiar with the Mobb Deep song? There's a great refrain, no such thing as halfway crooks.
Sure. I saw him live at the Queensbridge Project.
Wow. Excuse me.
Before Odyssey died or whatever. What was the guy?
I don't know. When you're slinging nickels? What do you mean?
It was like one of those, you know how they have like those summer series kind of like in the park or whatever, but they like Mobb Deep was like playing in their neighborhood. So it was kind of
Queensbridge.
Yeah, the Queensbridge, but it's like, so it was like half white guys like me and half like people from the project. So it was like a real.
And one of the Mobb Deep guys died?
Yeah, Havoc hold on, I'm looking.
Havoc?
It was.
Are these the Havocs of Scarsdale?
Yeah, this Schenectady Havocs.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know their son Todd Havoc is at Colgate right now, studying toothpaste.
Hip hop duo. Who were the members? Havoc and Prodigy. I said Odyssey. Prodigy, I believe, maybe was.
And also Soupy Sales.
Oh, Billy Tardy says Havoc.
Okay,
Havoc's the one that died.
What did he die from? Sickle cell.
Oh, he died in 2012. What?
Yeah.
So did I see this? I must have seen them before 2012.
I must have.
Holy shit.
Well, that's what happens in life. Time goes forward.
Where does the time go? Wow.
Yeah. So how the guy died? Do we know yet?
Oh, I can look that up.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, see how Havoc died. Some sort of diabetes, or they ran out of feet to cut off.
Cause
of death. be funny if it was something completely random, as like a water ski accident. You're like, what? That guy's into water skiing?
Complications from sickle cell.
Oh shit! I was joking.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like the most
Yeah,
stereotypical. Like we were making a joke, and then Prodigy said, "Not so fast."
Yeah. Sorry about that, Havoc. R.I.P.
But yeah, it was fucking great. I saw it was like I saw them do that song. Fuck, what's it called? Like Party Down or whatever.
I don't know. I can
Shook Ones.
Okay, there you go.
Shook
boom,
Ones
boom,
Part 2.
Boom, 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 boom. One. Yeah. Anyway,
so good.
So Barrett Blade, when he shows up at my house in Agora Hills, and he shows up and he's got on like a vest with no shirt and like all this jewelry and like a pair of like carpenter jeans that are like low slung on his hips. Look pretty hot, to be honest with you. And kind of like his bleach blonde hair, and and he kind of shows up my door and he's like swigging out of a thing, and I was like, what is that? It was like a liquid. He goes, Crystal Light. And I said, oh, do you believe in you?
That was their theme.
I believe. Yeah. Remember I'll tell you what it was. I believe in Crystal Light because I believe in me. That was like their tag. So that was it. And so the fact that I made fun of him out of the gate about Crystal Light, he did not like. So anyway, but I learned that if you're shooting any adult content, it is probably not a good idea to give all of the gals, $2 bottles of Chardonnay 3/4 through the day, because it kind of ended the day. And everyone just drove home drunk. I will say this though, like, you sort of wonder, you're like, what happens to a bunch of porn girls when you just give them a bottle of wine? They just rip the top off and just start chugging it. Like, it was like not even nobody was like, oh, I can't really, I have Pilates. Everyone was just like, they were just pouring it in their mouth like as quickly as they possibly could. Barrett was like, this is a bad idea. He's like, we're done now. We're done for the day now. You did the day. That's it. And I was like, what do you mean? It's great. I'm like having my own one. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, come on, man. Be cool, man. Take it easy.
Be cool, Daddy-O.
Be cool, buddy. Daddy-O. So anyway, all right. So Gustav, we'll let you know. We're going to have a plan a week out, because my plan is to go to Joanna Angel, just to put a pin in this, but is to go to Joanna Angel and say, listen, you're a friend of the show and you've done our show and we have mutual friends, but I want you to kind of come on to the show and be a guest. But I want you to be like super horny. And it's sort of like it's for a guy, a friend of ours. It's his birthday. He's going to be 76. And I think it would be fun for him to have a beautiful, because I think I'd have to kind of, because, she's a legend in her industry. Oh, yeah. So I'd have to be like, listen, you are a legend and you're this and you're that. And please, if you want to do it, great. But this is what I'm looking for. Can you do it for $40 US? No, I don't know. It's going to be at least $500 or something. So we'll see. So if that's the case, Gustav, honestly, it would be terrific if you could do that, because, why not? And also maybe we could we could work it out for you where we could get some private pictures of her for you. And we could make it somehow your
VIP package. I think we could say Gustav presents.
Yes.
Yeah. We definitely give him the like when a company licenses out a stadium, you know what I mean? It's they don't own the stadium, but it's AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
This would be the Gustav.
Yeah, this is sponsored by Gustav and Friends. Brought to you by Gustav and Friends. Mm-hmm. So that would be the thing. So we'll see how it goes. So it's either like Joanna Angel or I keep blanking. The girl in Jenna Love. Okay. Hey, in my defense, you know how many Jennas there are in porn?
And there's all of those that you named are really people.
Yeah. I can even say Jenna Hayes.
There's
probably one named Jenna. There's probably
Jenna squared.
Yeah, exactly. So if Joanna Angel, who very easily could be touring or going, so who knows, she could be these girls. It's, by the way, also that's why if I started to work on this right now, it would be useless, because by the 18th, something will have come
everything will have changed. Yeah, everything will have changed.
And really, the bold move that I had, which I don't think would work out, but I wish it would. We've all heard me talk about Tryst, TRYST, right? Mm-hmm. It's that site where they have like massage and escort and bondage and everything, pretty much whatever you want. And it's all very like sex positive. My idea a lot of the girls on that site allegedly show their faces. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. They're like, "Hi, this is what I look like. I do prostitution, and this is what I look like."
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking about is, what if I reach out to one of those girls?
Yeah, 100%.
And said, "Hey, listen, we're doing a podcast, and your hour rate is $800."
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one, probably.
Oh yeah, they're cute. That's $800. That's economy plus right there. That's as much leg room.
But then the ones that are like $800, would they want? But they're okay with their face being shown because it's shown.
Well, here's the thing.
This would just be a commercial for their tryst.
My whole thing is like, if you're showing your face, ones that don't show your face, don't even waste your time. But the ones that like are showing their face, you reach out, you're like, "Hey, listen, I do this thing, and we wanted to know if we would pay you." And then, the flip side of that is, you don't know how much fun they're going to be, but the other side of that is the adult stuff will happen.
Sure.
And
yeah,
they're
100%.
And they're on the clock. Do you understand?
So they're getting paid regardless if it.
And also what I mean is like, we could, like, if we had Joanna Angel on the show, I would feel a little weird being like,
we're not going to go, "Hey, can you go?" Might go jerking them off.
Yeah.
Like, if it is going well and there's chemistry.
Yes.
Whereas like these tryst girls, there will be chemistry.
Yes.
We'd be paying for that.
Exactly. But it might not be as fun. I don't know. We'll say, listen, I'm gonna have it all wrapped one way or another. It's all gonna get wrapped up, and we're gonna have this done. But it will be fun. And again, if you're not on the Patreon, join the Patreon, because the Patreon is gonna be really, really.
What if I brought like a bunch of singles and we made it rain? Would that be fun?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I want this would be more champagne room energy.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, this is a Venmo.
This is this is already set up ahead of time.
Yeah, no, 100%. We don't want to make it trashy.
This is GFE. I like when you go in Tryst and you look at like the rates, and they'll always have like a trip to Greece. You're like, I wonder what that means.
Oh yeah. Oh, Gustav says I need nothing in return or mention of it. I'm actually considered a respectable person in real life.
Okay.
So no need for extra attention. So this is a selfless act.
Okay.
He just wants to.
All right. Well, okay. Well, listen, we'll still send you some pictures, whether you like them or not. We'll still send you some stuff. We'll make sure that we're not going to, I feel like there's got to be some kind of recompense for your.
He just wants to make things happen.
Well, it's going to be a lot. We're going to really make it one way or another. It's going to be a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, for sure.
It's either going to be a train wreck, which is going to be funny, or it's going to work out great, which is going to be funny, or, whatever it is. So anyway, 76-year-old man getting dry humped by Joanna Angel for an hour.
I kind of weirdly like that we're talking about it too, because another way to have played it would be like, it'll be a surprise, like something crazy is going to happen, and then you don't tell the audience. But this could be fun because everybody knows what's happening but him.
Yes.
So that's an interesting angle.
Yeah. And again, we could be talking about this almost right in front of him, and he have no idea what we're talking about. So we're just getting through it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's 18th. It's going to be live. And then again, we'll go to the Patreon and also the YouTube private show, which will be archived.
Yeah, that would. I'm not sure. I may have to censor it for YouTube, and that it might not be able to go live on YouTube.
Okay, but I gotcha.
But we'll, if anything, it'll be archived for sure. I may have to pixelate some things.
Yeah,
because YouTube's a little touchier.
Yeah, which So anyway, Gustav, thank you, and we'll let you guys know. We'll have this week. Next Tuesday is going to be what, like April 3rd or something.
Yeah, sounds
about
right. It's the 25th today,
right? So then that Friday is going to be. So it's in we have a couple of weeks to figure this out. And again, we don't want to start planning this now, because the 18th might as well be January 30th. You know what I mean?
So so this Friday you're out of town.
Yes.
So April 4th will be
okay.
You'll be back.
Yes.
Okay, and then we can maybe do if we want to do an early.
We'll do an
early week when we can.
Yeah,
we'll do fucking April Fool's Day.
Yeah, that's Paul Dennon's birthday.
Is it really?
It really is. That's right. Yeah. So it was funny when I was in Grand Cayman. I called him and I was like, "How's it going down there in Puerto Rico?" And he said that every spring break, every 19-year-old girl from the University of Florida was like in San Juan.
It was very. I'm trying to remember when I went there. Oh, I went there in July one year, and it was very. It seemed. It had that vibe.
Yes.
Obviously, it was like a lot of large groups of women. Bachelor. It had like a bachelorette vibe.
You ever been to Nashville?
No, but I've heard that that's like the capital, like the Bachelorette, the capital of the world.
That's exactly the way you should describe it.
Mm-hmm.
It is the Bachelorette capital of the world. I've never been there, but that's all I've ever heard.
That whole like Broadway, the like it's kind of like the Austin has like A Street or whatever.
Yes.
I think it's that.
Okay,
but I think that sounds exhausting. I went to Austin for a bachelor party. So I was there for that purpose, and that was exhausting. But I'm not a fan.
Did you go to any strip clubs in Austin?
Yeah, I forget what they were called. We went to one. It was like we had to drive-aways, and I remember it was very classy. It was like up on a hill, kind of like a big.
I hate classy strip clubs.
Yeah, it was just so Austin.
But
so it wasn't. It was like Gallagher's with a banister. You know what I mean? Like it was not that classy, but it was like it wasn't in the city proper.
Okay.
I would say
in the hill country.
Yeah, it was kind of.
You were in the Mammary district.
Yes.
Up there.
But I remember we ended up because the groom was like not really. He wasn't really perving out. None of us were really. Oh God, this is interesting.
Go ahead.
Reliving this. So it was the kind of thing where the groom's little brother. We were just trying to like get him all the attention because we thought it was funny because he was like 22 or something.
Sure.
So it was a lot of like buying lap dances for the groom's little bro. And then there was one guy with us that had like a couple of daughters or whatever, and he just kept fucking talking about how that's someone's daughter, we shouldn't be here. So we literally had a guy that was like a complete fucking buzzkill.
Oh, what a loser.
And he was also like the guy where the rest of the group was like we don't even really want to be friends with this guy anymore. He was kind of racist.
Oh.
And like they're like, yeah, we don't think now probably politically I bet they have parted ways.
Right.
I should actually check in on the progress because I don't know how they feel about this guy still, but I would imagine he's like a MAGA guy and then they're not. But yeah, guy that was like completely fucking like, and he was like yelling. He was drunk and yelling about
this guy
like the joy of father. It was horrendously bad.
The joy of white fatherhood.
Yeah.
He's like, unlike those people, we stick around. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Honestly, that could have been a direct quote. I mean, because he was like weird Christian fundamentalist guy. I think.
Yeah.
It was bad times. I mean, it was very, we were there for the novelty of it. It wasn't, we weren't really like gonna get it. This wasn't daytime at Gallagher.
Okay, I got it.
I mean, this was just almost a formality. We felt like we needed to.
Yeah,
but I want to say it was like maybe it was like an 18 plus, and I don't know if it was the 18 plus no alcohol, but it was something weird, something very weird. I think it might have been totally nude.
I do not like totally nude.
It was bad. It was one of the worst.
Yeah, no
experiences I've had.
Well, when I was in Dallas, a year and a plus ago, I went to the largest strip club in Dallas just by myself, and I went there on December 30th, the day before New Year's Eve, when most strip clubs are closed on New Year's Eve because.
Really?
I know.
I would think that would be actually a fun. I almost went to Gallagher's on New Year's Eve.
Well, I think Gallagher's is certainly open, but I think
it was raining, so we ended up going home and watching Andy Cohen. And
that's kind of
we're either going to go to a strip club or
watch Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper
having dinner, like kind of right around the corner. Sunnyside.
Okay,
and
I think I remember this story.
Yeah, and we had just gone for the Brian McCarthy Christmas party.
Yeah.
And I was telling my girlfriend how much fun it was.
Sure.
And she was like, "Oh man, I wish I could have come. That would have been great. If I had known it was going to be so much fun, I would have taken the day off of work."
You're like, yeah, it's great. We had a guy giving out liquid nose sprayers.
I told her that. I was like, I did liquid cocaine with a pre-K teacher.
I know, right? It was my friend Mike. It was funny too. because Mike is great too. Because this is a friend of mine who
He's been on the show.
Yeah, he was there.
Chivroli.
Yeah. He was on the show, and I remember like I handed him. I was like, "Hey, do you want to try this?" And before I could even say what it was, he'd already shoved it up his nose. He was like, "I was like, why don't you let me tell you what it is before you just do it?" You want to try this heroin and fentanyl liquid death bomb? It's called a death bomb, but yeah. Well, anyway, but the place in Dallas that I went to, I remember I walked to the front door, and it was, I mean, when I tell you the front door, you're talking like everything's bigger in Texas, like the front door was 40 feet high.
It was like basically the Cheesecake Factory, but a strip club.
It was like Nero's palace. Like I walked in these Doric columns going all the way down, and these rooms. I mean, the place was, I don't know, 50,000 square feet. And there were 19 people in the place because no one was there because it was the day before New Year's Eve. I remember saying to the girl that was at the front desk, I was like, "Hey, there's nobody here," and she was like, "Well, it's the day before New Year's Eve, so we're sort of." But I remember that place in particular wasn't going to be open. That was a place that had the hot tub room. Remember that?
Yeah.
Such a weird idea.
Which you never really did. You get a straight answer as to how that worked?
No, even though I did shake down the bathroom attendant who's in there, I was like, "What is this room?"
Fuck.
Yeah, but next to all these lockers, he goes, "Oh, that's the hot tub room. You can go in there and rent a hot tub." I was like, "Wow."
And the strippers get in there with you?
Apparently, yeah, I know. None of that. Listen, I've been around the block, and none of that made any sense. I was like, I come in here, I check my clothes. And again, I had more questions than the guy had answers, so I just chalked up to me being like,
well, somebody actually was watching some trashy TV show the other day, and there was a stripper, and she actually broke down really well the difference between, she was like, there's strip clubs and there's gentlemen's clubs. So like what we go to are gentlemen's clubs, but a lot of times in the South in particular, strip clubs are huge. So that's like the, making it rain or whatever. And there's like a lot of food, like they're supposed to have really good food.
Yes.
It's like Southern type shit.
Yes.
And that's where, I don't know if there's really lap dances, but I think it's more just like, that's where people, it's more of a social thing.
Well, this was definitely private rooms. And what I thought,
so this was a gentleman's club.
Very much so.
Okay.
Yeah. What I thought was funny was, imagine you go into this room with this jacuzzi or whatever, and there's just like, there's a lifeguard. It's like some bored teenage girl, and she's
swirling.
And she's up.
Whistle.
Yeah. She has like zinc on her nose.
Yes.
And she's like up on like one of those ladder chair things,
summer job,
just looking over at you, blowing your whistle. No glass, no running. The strippers are in like high heels. You're like, no running on the pool area.
I would love to be a strip club lifeguard because there's not a lot of, like, the water's not deep enough to really have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you could certainly drown a stripper. And you know what I always say?
100%. I'm just saying,
I always say you could drown a stripper in a cup of tea. That's something that I've always said that to people.
That's an old kind of old adage.
Usually if I'm waiting for at the deli counter, I'll just turn to the woman next to me who's waiting behind me. I'll go, "Yeah, listen, you think this is a long wait? You could drown a stripper in a cup of tea. Am I right?" Yeah.
Don't I know it? Yeah.
All right. Should we go over?
Yeah, let's we're going to switch over.
Okay, so remember,
to the other side.
If you're watching, and please do that thing where you comment or like. That really does help. I hate to even ask because I hate when other shows say that to me. Although I always do it, so whatever.
Sure.
So
smash the like button.
Smash that like button, right? So like it, comment, whatever, and please join the membership if you want to, or join the Patreon. There's
a couple of people that did both. Can you believe that?
And we love that. That's great. That really is nice of you to do, and we appreciate it. Because I know, you could put your entertainment dollars towards anything. Oh, by the way, super quick. You know what annoyed me the other day is I was on Amazon, and there was some show that I wanted to watch on Amazon, and it said only available with ads. I was like, "What? Isn't that the fucking point?"
Okay, wait. So this is Amazon Video?
It was Amazon Prime, like that.
Oh, you know what? I think a lot of these, because you know what happened with Netflix, if you didn't opt in to the, basically, I think it's like $5 more or whatever. But if you didn't opt in to a non-ads account,
right,
your thing default, because mine just all of a sudden one day had ads, and I had to like switch it.
Oh.
But it was like they dropped the price by a couple of bucks, And then they said, if you don't say anything, we're giving you ads, because they probably sold a shitload of advertising. So it probably all works out. But I think a lot of these platforms are doing that. So and I think maybe Amazon could be one of them.
I'll tell you what happened with it. Because Amazon, my understanding is with Amazon Prime, you pay $150 a year, whatever it is.
Sure.
And you just have it. And then, but you can also, there's tons of shit to rent. Mm-hmm. But this was like a show that was just in the list of shows. Yeah. And when you put your, cursor over, watch now, it said only available with ads.
And it wasn't a thing that you could buy.
Exactly.
As well. Because like, a lot of stuff is a la carte. Like you just buy it.
Right. This was like a show. And if you wanted to watch this particular show, you could only watch it with advertising, which
I feel like that happened to me the other day with something too.
Yeah. It's like, guys, how much fucking more money? Come on, give me a break.
Well, because I think the bubble burst, I think the streaming, it got so big to where it's all just becoming cable. Like we've come back around. Everybody cut the cord and right. And then now it's just, we're back to where you have to have so many fucking services. It's more than cable anyway. You're spending
they totally fucked
$200 a month on all of these fucking things.
I know.
So now it's so bloated. I think that these services are like, oh, we got to sell ads because there's maybe not enough,
Sure.
Not enough people.
Yeah.
I don't
know what you're probably at something exactly like that, but it's just annoying because I'll pay $2 a month extra. I don't like commercials. So just no commercials.
But they're not even giving you the option.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. And I'm not.
Yeah, because they can sell a shit. They can charge Downey and
and also
an insurance company millions. They don't need your $2.
I'll tell you what. If this Golden Girls reboot, if they want me to watch ads, I'm not doing it. I don't care if that black guy from Designing Women is on it or not. All right.
Great if he did a little cameo.
Well, that'd be great. And super quick, one more thing. I know when people hate when people recommend shows, but to our English friends, I want to thank you.
What do you got?
Adolescence on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a 5-part series. It's about a 13-year-old kid that is accused of murder, and it's in England. And apparently every scene they've done in one take, but they act. Okay. My problem whenever I've had to act is I feel like it's like this. I'm here, right? I'm sitting here. The words that I'm going to say for the character are in front of me and I have to step into them. It doesn't feel natural for me to act. I mean, I've done it and I guess it's been okay, but I don't think I'm a good actor at all. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue. But my point is these guys, this fucking 13-year-old kid, they're all so unbelievably natural. And the guy that plays the dad, he was in Boardwalk Empire. He played Al Capone. He was in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That dude. Yeah.
That dude. He was in.
The guy.
Yeah. He was in This Is England, where he played the skinhead who got out of prison. He's been in a million fucking.
Is that guy British?
He is British.
Get out of here.
Very British.
Capone.
Yeah.
He was so good in
Boardwalk
Empire.
That guy's he looks like an English bulldog.
I had no idea that he wasn't American.
Yeah, he's English. Yeah. Matter of fact, he's been in a million fucking things. So anyway, it's called Adolescence, and it's only 5 episodes, and it's on Netflix, and it's fucking. My friend Simon, who's English, put it on, I don't know, Facebook, I think even, and he never recommends shows, so I was like, let me check it out, and I watched all 5. I watched all 5 in 3 hours. Figure that out. Do the math on that.
Whoa.
Yeah. I sat there. I was
double speed.
I was transfixed.
1.75.
Yep. I watched it on mute. I made up my own words. So where's Obi-Wan Kenobi in this motherfucker? All right.
I'm almost done with Love After Lockup, so I need recommendations.
Well, this will be.
I've done 5. I've done more than, because there's Love After Lockup, then there's Life After Lockup, then there's reunions. So I've done 6 seasons.
Does that okay? Not to get this is a rabbit hole, so I know we have to go. But that guy that goes, I want kisses.
Chaz, yeah.
Does he come back for the reunion?
He did briefly. He did briefly come back for the reunion.
Oh my god!
Just on Zoom. Oh, Chaz is the best. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
He's a bass player in a heavy metal band.
Is he really?
In Kentucky, yeah. Wow. He's a cool guy.
I want more kisses.
I need more kisses. You know what's funny? He actually explained that. Okay, so there is a brief explanation. So Branwen, the young lady that he married in a park outside of, who is a meth up prostitute.
Uh-huh.
He said so she was also a stripper.
Sure.
And she would do this like little baby voice, right?
Uh-huh.
And and it was a thing that she did in order to seem very innocent. And she would do this to her Johns and her clients at the strip club. And she said it made her seem more innocent, and guys would tip better.
Sure.
So she would do the baby voice to Chaz.
Sure.
And then so Chaz was like, and then at some point I started doing the baby voice
back.
And that's when he said, I need more kisses.
Yeah.
So
that all checks out.
That's where it came from. So it's not to.
By the way, you know what's funny about that name?
Apologist, but
Branwyn, you're either like a Welsh princess or you're a methed out stripper from Kentucky.
The northwest. She was from Seattle, the Seattle area.
Oh, God.
Where it gets freaky up there.
It does get freaky up there.
Weirdly.
That's where they have like strip clubs that are also like coffee places.
Yeah, the sexy coffee places.
Yeah.
Which I was just thinking, maybe we talk about that on the Patreon, but I was just thinking about that because, like, who the fuck is it? Like, believe me, I'm not saying I'm not a pervert.
Sure.
Okay. But like, who goes, I need like a blended frappe, like, because there's very like stupid like Starbucks drinks from a woman in a thong, and I have to tip her $20.
Well, and there's that great video of the guy that went through who like threw his drink at the girl or something. There's a great video.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we can get into the whole thing, but everybody, thank you. We're going to jump over to the bonus show right now, and remember, just join up or click or like.
If you want to join right on your on your desktop,
it's right there.
You can hit join, and you can actually watch it right with as we do it.
Yep.
Or they're archived. I put them up later tonight.
Ovio and Gustav and Roy and everybody else, thank you for coming in and saying hello. And we'll be back on Tuesday with the free show. And that's it. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. See you later.